Alright, so welcome to the group monitoring for Ubuntu server. The session is about, it's not about managing the world. I know some of you might be disappointed. Basically, it's a discussion on how we should integrate monitoring in orchestra. So, the default right now is we have navigos in main. So, that might change eventually, but right now it's not navigos, so I'm just going to stay for navigos for now. So, monitoring is a big important part of orchestra because you want to monitor your thousands of nodes that you have installed. So the way I was thinking of this, doing it in my head was use mcollective and agents, and basically navigos and have basically whenever there's a new node that comes up, is basically restart, basically trigger restart navigos. So you have a navigos over here, and your orchestra host that has navigos. Then you have your servers, whatever. So in this case, all these servers would be running OpenStack. So you have a no API, no compute. You have scheduler, etc., etc. So what I thought was you have an mcollective plugin, which basically queries each one of these servers to see what they have. So server one has API running. So things you want to check with the Nova API is if the API service is up, if the EC2 interface is up. So you would check to see if it's installed. Whoops. So this information would come back saying I have API. I have the API server running, so I want ping. I want EC2 API checked, and that in this case the EC2 API would have the cloud saying I'm running non-localhost. And all this information tracks back to the navigos server saying, in this host, I have this running. So create the config file for me. Then restart navigos. Because navigos would have a trigger if anything in the configuration directory restart navigos. So for the compute node, you'd have, in our case, probably libvirt running. So you want to check to see the process up. You would have, for the compute node in OpenStack, you have various running. They're going to have like a monitoring hook, which allows you to check to see which CPU, how long is your CPU running, and stuff like that. So it's something you might want to integrate there. See if it's up. And once the query is done, you send the information back to the navigos server and write the config and restart navigos. And it just goes on and on for the scheduler. So does anyone have any questions so far? Or?
So you're going to have the navigos agent on all that, on those?
Well, not a navigos agent, just a plugin which basically queries the servers. And mcollective plugin which.
Okay. So the communication between those machines and navigos is going to go through mcollective.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Am I crack or? As always, yeah.
Beside the point.
Yeah. Not that it's a challenge, but can you just say a few words about why Nagios?
It's in main. It's what we've known. It's been in main for a while now. It's what I know.
It's known to be stable.
It's known to be stable.
Has features that people want.
Yeah. It's pretty much it's widely available. People know it. There's a whole community around it.
What, around Nagios?
There is.
It's easy enough to make plugins on it too.
Yeah.
Is there anyone here from Nagios? Is there anyone here from Nagios upstream?
Apparently not. So basically, the action items would have to happen is write and collect the plugin to query the servers. If someone wants to do that, I'll do it.
So, hang on, just before we go further, there was a little bit of discussion about the network monitoring on the list when the spec was proposed on the list.
Right.
I'm just looking at a wiki page was started, and we did look at Nagios, Insignia, OpenNMS, Xenos, and
Yep.
Shinken. So Insignia is a fork of Nagios, and that was formed for valid reasons, I understand.
Yeah, I don't remember what the reasons are. Does anyone know what the reasons why it was forked, or?
I thought it was Nagios's, perhaps I'm mistaken, but I thought it was their open source and community attitude.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the reason to go. Yeah, it is. Maybe for an error +1, this could be replaced with something else, but the amount of work we have to do now this would be the ideal choice for now. Then if it's just a plugin, you can replace it with something else. If it's an plugin, you can replace it with someone else.
And you're using mcollector to drive everything.
Yeah.
So mcollector doesn't really care.
Yeah.
And presume that Insignia being a fork, it's somewhat compatible with Nagios, so moving from one to the other is being trivial at that.
It is.
Okay.
So what do the action items look like, Chuck? It looks pretty straightforward.
So the action items is to write the plugin.
You collect the plugin that runs on the client,
Yeah.
Okay.
It runs on the
managed server,
Managed server.
monitored server.
Yeah.
Have Orchestra depend on that, install that, configure that.
Yeah, and we don't want to just focus, like some other provisioning software, we just don't want to focus, we don't want to just focus on cloud. We want to eventually add other stuff like file servers, lamps, whatever.
We started the work on mcollected Nagios
Okay.
already, so we can take action on that.
Okay. So another action item would be change Navios to do the triggering, which is pretty trivial to do. Another action item we want is to do which stuff we want to monitor for which servers.
I understand.
Sure.
And which is why we're talking about, add-ons, plugin, driving API, and collective. So
Yeah.
it's true, but
We're just focusing on this part, right? So, I know you have opinion, I know you probably want to discuss collect the
the what?
collect the.
No, not me. That's not me.
Alright.
Just commenting on it.
Alright. Yeah, so discuss what we want. Check to see what we want to monitor. See what kind of service you want to monitor. And check to see what alerts you want to monitor. So ping, disk base, whatever. So
So Dave had an interesting notion a couple sessions ago about discovery, right? And then you get this initial inventory of the system.
Yeah.
Would it make sense to actually have the Nagios realize the system is there right then and
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
But not actually do, then maybe there's tick boxes that say, okay, I realize it's going to be a Novus machine or a computer
Yeah.
machine or whatever.
Yeah, that would be something we'd want to do.
Okay.
Based on hardware. Say,
Right,
like,
right.
I have a RAID, I have a Swift servers that have hardware RAIDs, and
Mm-hmm.
if the RAID goes away, then I want to be notified.
What do you want to do with SNMP alerts?
SNMP?
Yeah, do you want to turn those on by default?
I haven't thought that far yet.
Okay.
I just want to keep it pretty simple because, okay. So, any other comments or questions?
Yeah, and I know you want to probably get away from this, but in terms of OpenStack, my understanding is that there's hooks that they're going to be hooking with Ganglib by default, or I don't know by default, but that there's some work in that direction?
There's work done for Ganglia right now. There's also, in the next release, they're going to have monitoring hooks for querying librics for CPU usage and stuff like that. They're also doing stuff with PubSub Hub.
Which was, I'm sorry?
PubSub Hub.
Okay.
PubSub Hub. Basically, it's a RSS feed for monitoring. So that's something else we can look at. That's OpenStack specific. We might want to include the orchestra.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Just one, and then I've got to step out to the other one. So Nagios certainly makes sense. Was there any consideration of Isinga or Collecti or Munin or anything like that from like a longer term perspective?
Yes. For like graphing CPU stuff, we probably want, I would say the default we want is Munin. But I know people have their own.
And would it just be a matter of writing it in this design you've got? Is it just a matter of writing a different M collective?
Yeah.
Plugin? Okay. So you envision Nagios to be the first and maybe best supported plugin by default, and others may or may not evolve over
And
time.
people might want to contribute their own, so.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
I'm gonna dip out.
So am I actually. I need to go to the other one as well, so. Is there any other questions? Cool, thanks for coming.